What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and I got another knife for you guys to check out here. This is the Miguron Flix. This knife was sent in to me by Jared Neves from Neves Knives, and thank you very much, Jared, for letting me check this out. He didn't send it in for the overview. He sent it in for another video I'm going to be doing with it, a comparison video. It got delayed a little bit because the comparison knife got delayed. There were some things being done to it before it was sent to me. I don't want to give too much away, but COVID was involved. Guy got backed up, and so it should be here by the end of the week, and then I'll be doing that video, another video with this knife. I also got another stovepipe coming, and a couple others I'm going to be doing some comparison type videos with. I'll give you that much. But I figure while I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and record an overview of it. I have been playing with this knife quite a bit. First off, I need to inform you that this is not a factory edge. This is a Jared Neves edge, if I can get it to show up, as you can see there. So your knife will not come with this edge. I'm 99% sure anyway. I'm pretty sure Jared put an edge on this knife because it's freaking shiny. Let's just put it that way. I think I can see my nose hairs in it. So yeah, beautiful edge on this knife. This knife is just under 200 bucks. So you know, I think it's like $199 or something like that, which for what you're getting here, it's pretty impressive. This knife has fantastic action. Fantastic action. Do have a fuller for the reverse flick, not for the thumb flick. You wouldn't be able to get your thumb in there really to do it anyway because of how close the blade is to the scale. But the reverse flick is fantastic, and you can also front flip the knife. Although, not the best front flipper jimping, in my opinion. But we'll discuss all that in a minute. Let me give you the specs on it and give you a couple size comparisons, and then I'll talk a little more about the knife. All right, this one's kind of like my limit of knife size I would carry. So overall length is 8.3 inches, blade length is 3.5 inches. Blade thickness is only 120 thousandths, so it's going to be pretty slicey. M390 blade still, 59 to 61 HRC. The handle length is 4.8 inches. The weight is 4.8 ounces, so, you know, good size knife, but not overly heavy for its size, and it's going to be a good slicer. I haven't done any cutting with this knife, obviously. It's not mine, but I'm sure with that edge Jared's got on it, this thing would cut through pretty much anything like butter. So, good looking knife too. You got titanium bolsters, well, basically titanium frame, titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer, and then marbled carbon fiber overlays, which I don't know if it came to Jared like this, or if he's just, you know, maybe dinged it a couple times, but it does have, well, it's got a couple of voids in the marbled carbon fiber. Nothing terrible, but like right here you can see a little something. That's probably just from use, would be my guess. Yeah, there's a couple little marks on it, but there are a couple, you know, with carbon fiber, sometimes you see like a couple little pinholes. It does have a couple, but nothing too bad. It's actually pretty good, actually. In all honesty, it's pretty good. Ergonomics in this knife are fantastic. So good. You got a nice choil here to choke up, get right up on the blade, and it's also extremely comfortable back here. And with that, the way they've done the pocket clip here, it's just extremely comfortable. You don't even feel the pocket clip. It completely vanishes in my hand like it's not even there. So everyone should round their edges off like this, I think, is one very important thing. Don't put a point on your pocket clip. Yeah, super good ergos on this. The fit and finish is actually pretty nice. The only thing I can see is a couple of things on the carbon fiber, but that could be from use. I don't know, so I didn't get this knife new, so can't really knock it for that because I don't know if it came that way, like I said. So let's give you some size comparisons here, and then I'll go over everything else about it. Since I've got it here at the moment, no one's got one of these, but if you've got one of these, it'll give you a good idea of the size. The Penguin Plus, the new XL Penguin. Actually, they're calling it the Plus. And here's the normal Penguin. So, good size knife here. A little bigger than the new Penguin Plus, if you're curious about the Penguin. The new Penguin, anyway. Here is the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. One of my favorite knives. Love carrying the Yojimbo 2. Love the ergos, the size of the Yojimbo 2. But again, that's about my limit. I'd go a little bigger. I could carry this because it's just the shape of it and everything. Even though it's a 3.5 inch blade, it's not too big for me. So here's the Spyderco Shaman. So this is going to be right there. The Flix is going to be much closer to the size of the Shaman. The length looks to be almost identical. The blade length's almost identical. The handle length's almost identical. You got more of neutral ergos on this than the Shaman, but of course this is a little wider also. But overall, they're very similar in size. Here's the Benchmade bug out. Got a new one of these coming, by the way. Just FYI, I'll be doing a new bug out build I'm pretty excited about. Alright, and what else we got here? People will recognize the Dimco 80 20.5. And we'll go ahead and do the Spyderco Para 3. Most people have one of those, one of these two very popular knives. And that should give you guys a good idea on the size of this knife. It's a bigger knife, but honestly, to be as big as it is, it does not feel that big. I guess it's just, I don't see any milling in there, but the way they've done the carbon fiber overlays, they've thinned out this titanium quite a bit here on the frame. So that's cut down on a lot of the weight. And yeah, it's just beautiful milling here on the bolsters. The lock bar, buttery smooth, man. Super, super smooth lock bar. Very good access. I mean, you can't ask for any better access to the lock bar than that. And they've put like a little jimping there to give you a little extra texture to hit. Although I don't think you'd even need it because the access is so good. It's just, and it's buttery smooth. You have a steel lock bar insert. This is riding on caged ceramic ball bearings with a ceramic ball detent. Titanium hardware. One thing I do find a little odd is on the show side they put a pivot collar on it, but on the clip side it's just a larger pivot, no collar. I think it would look better if there was a collar on both sides, or if they just made this one bigger, and so that it looks. I'm one of those people, I like things that look the same on both sides. I'm not a big fan of a knife that has like carbon fiber on the show side and then it's a titanium frame lock on the clip side. Just never been my thing. I like them, everything to, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to that, you know what I mean? So it immediately stood out to me that this one has the pivot collar, this one doesn't. Honestly, I think they'd be better off just anodizing that pivot collar the same color, and then it would just blend right in and look the same on both sides. But that's just a personal thing. Nothing wrong with the knife. The action on this knife is freaking fantastic. It really is. That fuller, although it's kind of small, close to the scale, initially looking at it, I thought, I'm probably going to struggle with that, you know, with the way I have to bend my middle finger with the arthritis. But I have no problems whatsoever. I've got great access. It's sharp enough on here to where you get lots of traction with your finger, and yeah, the detent's done really well. Now the jimping on the front flipper, I do miss this from time to time. It's pretty slick. I wish it had finer jimping for sure. I know Jared likes it to go all the way across the top, and I do too. Although I don't know if it benefits you too much for this because of the way it's flush with the scale there. You know, this looks like one of those knives that a front flipper is an afterthought, maybe. I don't know if they intended it, kind of like the Shaman. I don't know if they intended this to be a front flipper, but you can front flip it, you know. But I do miss it sometimes. So maybe this wasn't intended to be a front flipper, kind of like the Spyderco Shaman, right? It was never intended to be a front flipper, but you can front flip it. Normally I can't anyway. Yeah, you can front flip it, but that one's down lower, so it's a little more. So I think this was intended to be a front flipper, but just not the best jimping for it. It's one of those front flippers where, with some front flippers, you can just hit it anywhere, and it's got enough traction where you're going to get it. With this one, you got to hit it right here at the top, and you got to pay attention to where you're putting your thumb, or you're going to miss it. If you go a little too high, you're going to slip off. If you go a little too low, you can't get it because there's no traction to lift up with. So, but the reverse flick is just money, man. The reverse flick is so good. The detent, pretty. It's not too stout, but it's kind of stout for a front flipper. So it's got a great detent. No detent lash whatsoever. The detent break is a little late, but it doesn't really matter because it's right there is your detent break. As long as you hold the lock bar over, the blade will just go right past it, and then it'll come down on its own. And it's like glassy, glassy smooth action. Glassy smooth. This feels like a more expensive knife to me. I know $200 is a lot for a knife, but with the materials you're getting and the action, the way the action feels in this knife, this thing is just super good, man. Super, super good. I can't wait to get the other one of these in to check it out. You'll understand why when it gets here. It's going to be a little different than this one, but I think it's one I will prefer. I hope the one that comes in has the keeps the action. I hope it does, because this action's fantastic. Great looking knife too, in my opinion. Just looks good as hell. The ergos are extremely good. The action's extremely good. Yeah, home run for Miguron. And for the price, you're gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to find something in this price point with these materials with this action. Only other thing I could think of where you come close would be Tucson knives. Anyone else out there, you're going to be up in the $250 to $300 range for these materials with this kind of action. So one thing about this one I've had to be careful with, because it's got a jarred edge on it. So a lot of times with a lot of knives, when you want to let it go past the detent break, you can just let the blade come down and hit your thumb, right? And sometimes you can get to where the choil will get your thumb, or if there's a flipper, the flipper will get your thumb. But with this one, the blade's going to hit your nail. So you could end up with like lefty EDC deformed nails, if you, especially with this edge on it. So I've been very cautious with that. With a factory edge, I wouldn't worry about it so bad. But as sharp as this is, I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to put a blade through my thumbnail. So just so you know, that edge is going to get you with this one. So, but as long as you're paying attention to where it's at, you can manipulate it without having to worry about that. And it just drops. I mean, it's not a free fall drop, but it's like glass. It's just so smooth. That's what's the most impressive part about this one to me, is how glassy it is. It literally feels like glass. So yeah, love the knife. Big fan of this one. Thank you so much to Jared and Kara, of course, for sending this in and letting me check it out. I greatly appreciate it. I also greatly appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button for me. If you have this knife or any other Migurons that you think I should try to check out, comment below and let me know. This is other than a couple of their budget knives that are front flippers, this is the first premium Miguron I've had in hand, and I'm impressed. I like it. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.